Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, May 25th. I'm Stephanie Haney. This is 3 News Now, your early update with our top headlines from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I know lots of you are home from work, those of you who have gone back to work, those of you who have been working from home this entire time, because today is Memorial Day, and today is a day that we celebrate the people who lost their lives, military personnel who gave the ultimate sacrifice so that we can continue to enjoy the freedoms that come along with being American. So today we celebrate those people. We thank them for their service, for that ultimate sacrifice, and our thoughts are with the family, friends, and loved ones of people who have lost people in the military service in order to protect what we know it is to be an American. So thank them today for all of that, and keep that in mind while you're celebrating and enjoying your time off, barbecuing, enjoying this beautiful weather. We are going to start today with the latest numbers on COVID-19 from the Ohio Department of Health. Those came out yesterday on Sunday. So here are the most up-to-date confirmed numbers, just to give us a starting point as we jump into the week here. The total number of confirmed cases in Ohio, which includes both probable and positive cases of COVID-19, is now 31,911. This marks 3 days of decreases in new cases. So yesterday we saw 503 new cases reported. Before that, on Saturday, there were 614 new cases reported. And then on Friday, there were 627 new cases reported after a spike on Thursday where we saw 731 new cases reported. So since Thursday, when we had that spike, those numbers have gone back down to more in line with the numbers that we had seen prior to that spike. So again, yesterday, 503 new cases. We'll keep an eye on that, of course, as the new numbers come in at 2 p.m. In terms of the number of total deaths here in Ohio, we are getting very near to the 2,000 mark. The total number of deaths from COVID-19 in Ohio is now 1,969. Yesterday, we did see a drop in new daily deaths reported. Yesterday, there were 13 new deaths reported, but that was after 84 new deaths were reported on Saturday. So those numbers in terms of deaths and the reporting days have been really all over the place, really jumping around. But yesterday, we saw 13 new deaths reported. The total number of hospitalizations is now 5,476, with 39 new hospitalizations reported yesterday on Sunday, and a total of 864 people actively hospitalized at this time. And in terms of the number of people who have been admitted to an intensive care unit, out of those total number of hospitalizations, which date back to March 9th, when we first learned that COVID-19 was here in the state of Ohio, there have been a total of 1,438 ICU admissions, with 9 new on Sunday, which is down from the numbers that we've been seeing for previous weeks, down considerably. And there now are a total of 317 people actively in the ICU at this time. Taking a look at what it's going to look like outside today for people who are getting outdoors and celebrating Memorial Day, celebrating the people who lost their lives in order that we can celebrate the freedoms that we have as Americans. It's going to be a hot one today. Some places in Northeast Ohio could see up to 90 degrees today. That's thanks to the heat and the sun, making for an absolutely beautiful day outside. This is the first time, by the way, since the 1930s that Northeast Ohio has been in the 80s at the very end of the month of May. So we can expect 80 degrees and higher throughout at least Thursday this week. And it might be time for us to break out that sunscreen and enjoy some of that time being outside while we're still making sure that we keep an eye on that physical distancing. Weather isn't something that we usually talk about here, by the way, so if you'd like us to incorporate weather into this update, just let me know how you feel about that. Let us know in the comments. It's something that we certainly can do. We just haven't necessarily done it in the past. Speaking of Memorial Day, there are ceremonies that are continuing today despite COVID-19 coronavirus. People are getting out and enjoying the weather, so health officials do want to remind people that it is still strongly recommended that you wear a mask if you're going to be in a space where you're not able to physically distance. Some places that saw larger groups of people were Edgewater Beach and the Flats on Sunday night, where crowds were getting out and celebrating, and many people were in close contact. Not a lot of people wearing masks, though, so health officials want to remind people that people who are out and about could be asymptomatic and could be carrying COVID-19. The White House Coronavirus Response Coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx, said that distancing is absolutely critical, and if we can't be maintaining that physical distance of 6 feet, it is important that we do wear a mask. And on Put-in-Bay this weekend, there were not many masks in sight. That's according to reports that we have there. Public health professor Dr. Ashish Jha said that we don't want to undo the hard work that we've done over this 8 weeks of distancing just to have a weekend of, his words, irresponsible behavior set us back. So do keep that in mind. We've done a lot of hard work. This lockdown has not been easy. So just keep that in mind when you are out as we ease back into the things that have been able to reopen. That's something that the professionals are conveying to people. So the reality is that COVID-19 is still very real. If you look at the front page of the New York Times over the weekend, you saw that they posted the names of the people who have passed from COVID-19 here in the U.S. We are very close to a total of 100,000 deaths here in the U.S., almost at 98,000 now. So it's likely that either today or tomorrow we will see that number tip over 100,000 deaths. So keep that in mind when you're going out, staying safe, and also keeping in mind that the safety of other people is definitely at issue here. Now, a lot of people have probably been wondering about that 2020 Lawn Pass at Blossom Music Center. It has been canceled, so of course this is probably not much of a surprise for people who had purchased these because many of the shows have already been canceled or postponed past the summer. Live Nation did announce that Lawn Pass cancellation on their site with this message to fans. They said, as concerts are put on pause, we have made the difficult decision to cancel the 2020 Lawn Pass program and provide refunds to all of our pass holders. Refunds will be processed in as little as 30 days, and if you have questions, this is the website to check out, support.frontgatetickets.com. Again, that's support.frontgatetickets.com. That's if you need information about your Blossom Music Center Lawn Pass cancellation. They ended the message saying, take care of yourself, and when the time is right, we look forward to seeing you on the lawn. The Lawn Pass was a great deal. It was $199. It sold out within a few hours in December and offered general admission access to every single summer concert at Blossom Music Center this year, and that was including sold-out shows. But nearly all of Blossom's events have been canceled for this year, and you can see a full list of those cancellations on WKYC.com if you want to get a look at what will be coming back when they get things rescheduled. Over the weekend, President Donald Trump had tweeted that schools should open ASAP, but lots of people disagree about that. Two recent polls show that not everyone agrees with that plan. This is what the president tweeted. His words, much very good information now available, and he tagged British political advisor and commentator Stephen Hilton in the tweet. And shortly before that, Hilton had appeared on Fox News discussing reopening schools. Hilton is urging schools to reopen, saying now before you do even more needless damage, adding that wearing masks once schools and businesses reopened was fine, but temperature checks were pointless and social distancing rules were completely arbitrary. This is what was reported on Fox News by Hilton. So over the past month, the president has frequently called on governors across the country to consider reopening schools, despite many determining already that classes would be canceled until the fall. Medical professionals, however, are not recommending this. The CDC guidelines for schools reopening does, by the way, include guidelines that people do wear masks, and temperature checks are part of the situation there. So Hilton at odds with medical experts in what he said on Fox News. And remember, Hilton is not a medical professional. He is a British political advisor. So that's something to keep in mind as well. A recent national poll by Quinnipiac University found that about half of voters said they don't feel it will be safe to send students of any age back to school in the fall. And a Politico Morning Consult poll published last week found that 41% of Americans felt it was a bad idea to reopen schools this fall, while about one-third thought it was a good idea. So remember, these polls are also including everyday individuals, not medical professionals. So we tend to focus on what the medical professionals say and a little bit less on what the polls say or what the opinions say about that. So medical professionals are saying that if schools are to reopen in the fall, we do have some guidelines that's listed on the CDC website, which we also have on WKYC.com if you'd like to check that out about schools reopening. Lots of things included in there about not utilizing the cafeteria, keeping students in the same room, making sure that they are in groups of less than 10, those kinds of things. So again, all of those details are available on WKYC.com. Here in Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine has been talking about the reopening of Cedar Point, and he says we are not there yet, which of course is not a surprise to a lot of people. But Cedar Point was supposed to kick off its 2020 season on May 9th, but they have not been able to do that because of COVID-19 concerns. And DeWine did say that would be a next level of reopening. This was on Sunday's Meet the Press with Chuck Todd on NBC. And he quite honestly said that he has no idea when Cedar Point will be able to reopen. He said, we've got to see how this reopening is going. Our restaurants are doing what they need to do to keep the space. Retail is doing the same thing. We're just not there yet for mass gatherings of people. Something that did catch people's attention, however, is in one of the press conferences last week, Governor Mike DeWine talked about banquet and catering centers and how those facilities would be able to have groups of up to 300, which is kind of confusing when we think about mass gatherings being limited to less than 10, but that has been the recommendation for banquet halls and catering facilities when they are able to reopen, which is not yet, by the way. That date has been set for the future, and we do have a list of those running dates on WKYC.com and our WKYC app as well. That's your early update for Monday, May 25th, this Memorial Day. I'll be back here at 2 p.m. We do not have a press conference with Governor Mike DeWine today, but I'll be back here at 2 p.m. as soon as we get those updated numbers from the Ohio Department of Health, and I'll share those with you then, as well as the top headlines at that time from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Everyone, enjoy the rest of your morning and early afternoon. I'll see you back here in a little bit. I'm Stephanie Haney.